Hey up, it's Steve from the Old Yorkshire Geek, and I'm here with some news today. Got a few news stories to look at, so let's just get on with it, shall we? Yeah, where are you? There you are. Right, first up, from the Hollywood Reporter, Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 not moving forward as DC movies hit a turning point. Exclusive. This from the Hollywood Reporter. As usual, all the links are in the description down below. Don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell, follow me on social medias. Merry Christmas. I forgot to say Merry Christmas in my videos yesterday, and I promised to say it every day, didn't I? I'm an idiot. Right. Where were we? New DC Studios heads James Gunn and Peter Safran are in the final stages of prepping their multi-year plan ahead of next week's pivotal presentation to Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav. Oh, excuse me. And there's a lovely Gal Gadot in it wasn't very good, was it? Wonder Woman 1984. I did watch it all, though, I must admit. I did sit through it, but it was pretty awful, wasn't it? But anyway, it looked nice, but it was a terrible story. Right, call it DC Rebirth or DC Genesis, maybe call it Identity Crisis or Flashpoint. These titles of past DC Comics events series aptly describe the state of Warner Brothers DC movies, which are on the cusp of a new era, but not before a potentially messy transition period. I've heard the change in it. You know, a lot of people say the DCEU. For some, I don't know why they add the E. I think they call it the DC Extended Universe or Expanded Universe or whatever. I've always just called it the DC Universe or the DC Cinematic Universe. But apparently, going forward, it's just going to be the DC Universe. So, anyway, a cleaning of the slate is common when a new executive team is put in place to run a studio or division, but there is likely little precedent for the amount of Clorox. Is that some American cleaning fluid? I don't know. James Gunn and Peter Safran could spray as they prepare to launch DC Studios and guide superhero movies for the next half-decade and beyond. I wish I had an echo thing. Actually, I have. I've got a little soundboard here, but I can't plug my microphone into it because it doesn't take USB microphones. But I got it for free, so who's complaining? Anyway, a duo in recent days, and yes, I have got another microphone that I can plug into it, but I just can't be bothered getting it out. A duo in recent days flew back to Los Angeles from the snowy city of Aspen, Colorado. I don't know, Lloyd, the French are assholes. Dumb and Dumber reference there. Where the women flock like the salmon of Capistrano. Where they were huddled in deep planning and now like holy figures coming down from the mountaintop have sets of commandments or a DC Bible in hand, or at least a working blueprint. Gunn and Safran are expected to meet next week with David Zaslav, the Warner Brothers Discovery CEO, who is radically reshaping the media company and who hired the duo in October to lead a newly launched film and TV division. The pair will unveil to Zaslav a plan that is expected to lay out their vision, although much of their plan, which insiders paint as still a work in progress and one that has yet to be approved, is being kept deep in the Batcave. Details of several possible paths forward are trickling out, and at least one path not being taken has also been revealed. I mean, Gunn did a tweet, didn't he, where he showed... I forgot what they call it. It showed that all the DC heroes with Superman leaning over a table, and he put the caption "making plans," and it's from a big DC storyline. But as I say, I'm not au fait with such things. So some are suggesting it's going to be this big DC storyline. I can't remember what it was. You probably know because you're probably cleverer than I am. Not probably, you are. Multiple sources tell the Hollywood Reporter that Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 is not moving forward and is considered dead in its current incarnation, which is a shame. Well, no, it didn't, but I hope they keep Gal Gadot because, you know, she's lovely. Anyway, sources, but she could do to eat a few pies, I'm sorry. Sources say that Jenkins recently submitted her treatment, co-written with Jeff Johns, and that Gunn and Safran, as well as Warner Brothers Pictures co-chairs and co-CEOs, Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdy broke the news to the filmmaker, telling her the project as it stood did not fit in with the new but still unfolding plans. Does this mean Kathleen Kennedy will get a clause in for the Rogue Squadron? We will see. Jenkins directed and co-wrote the previous two movies starring Gal Gadot and released in 2017 and 2020. No decision has been made about next steps. And while costs are not a factor, of course they are, insiders say that DC Studios will not have any overburdensome financial restrictions. The studio could end up saving tens of millions of dollars by not making the third instalment. Gadot, according to sources, was on track for a $20 million payday, wow, for Wonder Woman 3, while Jenkins would have received $12 million. That's $32 million just in two people. Those figures don't include any possible back-end bonuses. Warners have had no comment. Yeah, I'm sure they didn't. It is unclear how any future Wonder Woman movie and Gadot's portrayal of the hero would fit into the new DC plan. In a bit of head-scratching timing, Gadot tweeted out of the blue a thank you to fans on Tuesday, saying she was grateful to be allowed to play the heroine and role model. I'm glad they said heroine, by the way, and not hero, because women now, you've got to call them actors and heroes and, it's heroine. Yeah. Thank you, Hollywood Reporter. And role model, adding, can't wait to share the next chapter with you. It was unclear whether or not the actress knew the project was being toe-tagged. The rest of the DC slate remains in flux, or at least being kept deep in a pocket of Gunn's own utility belt, but there are several rumours and possible scenarios to consider ahead of next week's meeting. The first, which builds on the shuttering of Jenkins's Wonder Woman 3, is the closing curtain of the Snyderverse and the heroes cast by filmmaker Zack Snyder for his Justice League. This one sees the shutting down of Man of Steel 2 with the returning Henry Cavill and having no more Aquaman fronted by Jason Momoa. There's rumours he's going to play, is it Lobo, the Marvel? So like Wolfie type person. I'm saying Wolfie, I don't know. These characters are to cameo in Flash, the highly anticipated time travel adventure movie. It's only anticipated because people want to see what a disaster it is. But it's supposed to be good. Adventure movie that is due to release June 16th. Cavill shot his part of the cameo in September, but sources say there is a debate inside the studio as whether or not to keep the cameo, and if its inclusion promises something that the studio would have no plans on delivering. A Warner's insider cautions that no plans have been finalised and that Flash remains an unlocked picture. How long have they been making this film now? And it's still not locked down. The Cavill situation is more than a little thorny, as the actor made a cameo in Black Adam. Did it? I still haven't watched that. I started watching it yesterday actually, and got distracted and did something else instead. I saw Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam from the back. That's as far as I got. The DC-centric movie released in October. The Monday after the movie opened, Cavill posted a video on Instagram where he announced, "I wanted to make it official. I am back as Superman." And at that time, probably if you hear some binging, my phone making a noise. Where were we? And at that time, it was not incorrect. Warner Brothers was indeed developing a sequel for 2013's Man of Steel and actively meeting with writers. Andy Muschietti, who directed Flash, also the director of the two It films and several other stuff. Mama as well, that were a good one. Even expressed interest in sitting behind the camera for something that would have brought a tone similar to the hopeful and heroic colours of the 1978 movie directed by Richard Donner, considered a benchmark in comic book movies. Yes, it is. It's an amazing film. I still love watching it now, and it still gives me a little chill when I watch Superman, the original one. It's a special film. In fact, the current leadership team at Warner Brothers Pictures, Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdy, did desire one more go-around of the Snyderverse heroes, possibly even having another Justice League movie with those actors. I don't see why not. I quite enjoyed the Snyderverse. I wasn't a big fan of Man of Steel. I don't know why he had to kill Zod at the end and break his neck. Why did he just put his hand over his eyes? Because he couldn't shoot through his hand, could he? Should he? I don't know. He could have just done that, couldn't he? Anyway, but never mind. And I really like Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, particularly the ultimate cut, the extended one, which is I think is a masterpiece. Apart from obviously Lex Luthor, who's bloody awful in it. I forgot his name. You know what I mean? You know what I'm like with names. But yeah, I really liked them. I didn't mind the Justice League film. The first one, what's his name now? Him, Firefly chap, Buffy. Me today, I'm going crackers. I didn't mind it, it were harmless, I suppose. But Zack Snyder's version was miles better. But I don't know why he had to do it in 4:3. Why did he have to do it, not widescreen? Would he just been like arty-farty and a bit of a knobhead? I think that's what was happening. Anyway, where were we? But that was before Gunn and Safran began formulating their new and still in flux plan. Also unlikely is a sequel to Black Adam, despite the hype surrounding the movie of launching a new corner of DC, a lot of it led by star Dwayne Johnson. Rock the Dwayne Johnson. The movie has only grossed $385 million worldwide. Oh, excuse me. That made me cough, did that? And insiders at the studio say the movie, which cost more than $190 million to produce, which is quite cheap these days, isn't it? It's usually like $250 million, isn't it? Where does that money go? Are they laundering it? I remember films, big blockbuster films cost like $20 million. But that was when I was a kid, a long time ago, in the mists of time. Anyway, $190 million to produce. Two sources peg the actual cost at $230 million, not including marketing. We'll be lucky to break even considering ancillary revenue, like, Blu-ray, HBO and all that. But they tend not to... Blu-ray sales, home video sales tend not to be as much as the cinema sales, which surprised me, actually. I thought they'd actually make more. You think more people will go out and buy the DVD or the Blu-ray and actually go and sit in the theatre, wouldn't you? But they don't. They don't. It's a fraction of the box office revenue, apparently. Most of the time. Even if the movie does eke out a minimal profit, any follow-ups inherent rising costs dim the prospect of a sequel. So that coffee's repeating on me. Oh, cracky. Johnson hoped to carve out his own piece of the DC pie, but multiple sources say he's playing up of a returning Cavill, and his own involvement with DC may not be endearing him to the new management. Johnson and Cavill are both managed by Danny Garcia, who is also Johnson's producing partner. The perception of Adam turning a profit, Black Adam, not the Adam that's going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, whose name I've forgotten again already. It's Adam Warlock. That's it. Anyway, the perception of Adam turning a profit or not is a conflagration now being waged in public, with Johnson tweeting the movie would net over $50 million after a Variety story. Does it mean 500 million? Must do. After a Variety story, it said the movie would lose over $50 million theatrically. God, what's going on? Is this article? We're nearly done. Yes, we have, right. Momoa, meanwhile, could emerge as a pivotal figure. I was hoping this is going to be a news bite. I think it's going to be a proper news. It's going on in it. Momoa, meanwhile, could emerge as a pivotal figure into the new plans, according to several sources. In one scenario, the actor would wrap up his days as underwater hero Arthur Curry with Lost City, due out December 25th, 2023, which would be the final movie released that was made by the previous regime. But it would not spell the end of the actor's involvement with DC. Oh, here we go. With sources saying the actor would lead another movie or franchise, the character of Lobo, a foul-mouthed, cigar-chomping intergalactic bounty hunter, has been mentioned in connection with Momoa. I know nothing about Lobo. Whether or not Momoa does play everybody's favourite pastiche. I don't know what that means. Lobo, Lobo, is it just bastard? I don't know. Lobo emerging as a rising character early on in the conversation. I'm going to have to look that up. What the hell does that mean? Does it say it in here? Search Bing inside bar for Urban Dictionary. An insult that is apparently a combination of the words bastard and bitch. Oh, right. Oh, there you go. So there you go. Bastich. Then there we go. It could do with a T there, couldn't it, just to make it clear. Where were we? Lobo, emerging as a rising character early on in the conversation, may point to the kinds of characters the Gun Saffron team may be focusing on. Gun Saffron, it sounds like an 80s TV, like they used to do like Power Rangers or something. It'd come on the end with a Gun Saffron production. Maybe focusing on. The character is an outsider, an anti-hero, and is keeping in line with Gun's specialty, or as we say, in proper English-speaking terms, speciality, of taking the offbeat and quirky and flipping it into crowd-pleasing fare. It's enough for me, going on about how to pronounce speciality when I don't even know what a bastich is, doing it, but never mind. Part of the plan could entail a truly fresh start and having no baggage from any previous regimes as they set about resetting how DC movies and shows are made. That, however, does not take into account the possible success of movies such as Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Have I seen the first one? Yeah, I think I saw the first one, yeah. I think I did. I can't actually remember. Yes, I did. Yes, I did see the first one, yes. Because there were lots of spoilers. There were lots of Shazams in it by the end, weren't there? Yes, there was, yeah. Shazam for the Gods, March 17th, 2023, on which Saffron is a producer, and Blue Beetle, August 18th, 2023. I know nothing about Blue Beetle, apart from I had a Facebook friend who cosplayed as Blue Beetle, but that's all I know. I know what he looks like. Would that plan include forging ahead without the actors who inhabit those characters and recast them even if those movies prove to be box office hits? Observers are convinced the plan calls for an interconnected story universe, and there are rumblings of the establishment of a creative brain trust. The brain trust may be already rolling in some capacity, as sources say that Saffron had in recent weeks been meeting with writers at his Los Angeles home in an effort to hone the presentation, gathering feedback and ideas for the plan. Sorry, like tickling or like cobwebs or something on me. It must be a ghost. They said, if you feel cobwebs on your face, it's a ghost touching you. Or I just need to dust. That could be that. One part of the Gun Saffron agenda seems likely not to touch, at least for now, is the Matt Reeves Batman universe, in which Robert Pattinson dons the cowl of the Caped Crusader, and I still haven't got around to watching that. Anyway, Reeves is writing the sequel to The Batman, which opened on March the 4th. The filmmaker is also overseeing the launch of 2 Batman series that spin out of his movie, including The Penguin. There, we're finally done. There we go. Right, so that story, we're basically about, there we go. Wonder Woman 3 not happening, but like 99% of it, we're talking about other things, wasn't it? But anyway, so Wonder Woman 3 is not happening, but lots of other stuff, exciting stuff, seems to be going on. Right, let's move on. Next up, this one. Thanks, Marie, for giving me this this story. She messaged it to me this morning while I was in bed watching Nerdrotic on YouTube. But here we go. TikTok users lose sleep with Netflix horror movie challenge. Right, I'll read it and then I'll tell you what I think. TikTok has become a central place for horror fans. By the way, I haven't got TikTok. I don't think I ever have. I can't remember. I might have done. I might have tried it when it first came out, but I ain't got it at the moment. Same with Snapchat. I don't bother with that either. TikTok has become a central place for horror fans to spread information and connect with one another, and also be spied on by the Chinese government. Now a challenge is spreading across TikTok due to a new horror film on Netflix. But obviously, on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, you have the American government spying on you. NSA, that's all I'll say. Right, the challenge started after TikTok user at NotJustBored1214 created a video for the aforementioned film. As he explains it doesn't matter how hard or desensitized you are. Here's what he wrote. I don't give a bleep how hard or desensitized you think you are. There's no bleeping way you guys are watching this entire bleeping movie from start to finish without skipping a scene. It is nonsense. Additionally, he added a specific timestamp for viewers to look out for. 1 hour, 16 minutes, 22 seconds was the hardest part for me to watch. It in. As for the film itself, it's none other than a Taiwanese horror film called Incantation. The movie from director Kevin Ko is mostly told within a found footage format. It's also become the highest grossing Taiwanese horror film of all time after being released theatrically in Asia. Now with the ongoing TikTok trend, viewers have been recording their reactions. As you can see below, many viewers are having trouble watching the 1 hour 51 minute long film without skipping any scenes. Because it's quite boring in places. Here's what some users have shared as a result of the challenge. Oh, I can't be bothered. Yeah, there they are. There's basically wussers. There'll be wussers watching it. What's the point? There we go. Of course, some viewers felt the film wasn't scary at all. Well, yeah, it's mildly scary. It's not bad. I've seen it. It's not bad. In fact, they believe that Incantation was mid, if not outright saying it wasn't scary at all. Well, yeah, pretty much. It goes to show that horror is ultimately subjective. What some viewers might find scary isn't scary for others, but given how successful Incantation has been with its theatrical release in Asia, and the fact some viewers are still struggling to sleep or finish the movie, that definitely says something. Some people are, like I said, the wussers. You get people that say, oh, the Daleks in Doctor Who scared me. I used to hide behind the sofa. Why? It's bloody Doctor Who, for Christ's sake. It's meant for kids. It's on at tea time. Stay tuned to Screen Geek. Blah, 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 blah. Right, there we go. Anyway, the timestamp that they're talking about up here, 1 hour 16, where are we? 1 hour 16 minutes, 22 seconds into the film. It's a man bashing his face in on a desk or a computer keyboard or whatever, and he just gets a bit more bloody each time. It's not that bad. I've seen worse in films. I've seen somebody get the face bashed in with a camera, proper gorily, and good effects. But this isn't a patch on that. But it's not a bad film. I would recommend it if you like found footage films. Incantation is pretty good, but as I said, it's in Taiwanese. It's on Netflix, so there probably actually is an English audio, but I watched it with the subtitles because, I'm a snob. But there you go. Give it a go, and I bet you'll watch it all the way through. Once you get bored and turn it off, because it's an hour and 50 minutes, which is too long for a found footage film. Right, next up. Now then, this is old news. There you go, it says there, published 2 weeks ago, but I just noticed it yesterday because for some reason it popped up in the news round. It's like 2 weeks after it originally were published. So, exclusive, Dredd 2 with Carl Urban back in development. So from Giant Freaking Robot. Right, there it is. Excellent film. There have been rumours that the Judge Dredd franchise was set to continue as a new series. Was being discussed called Judge Dredd Mega City 1. However, there had been no mention of who was going to be cast in the titular role. Oh, pardon me. Do apologise. Also, leaving behind the idea that a sequel to the hit Dredd movie was also not going to happen. I mean, it did come out in, 2012? So it's been 10 years now. I think it was 2012. Now, through our trusted and proven sources, we can report that Dredd 2 is moving forward with Carl Urban. It's not often that a reboot is seen as a better version than the original movie, but that is not the case for Dredd 2012. Oh, right. Urban came into the role of Judge Dredd in a big way, making a lot of people forget about the Sylvester Stallone-led 1990s movie. I really like that film. I do. I really like Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone. It's fun. The only problem with it is he takes his helmet off more or less straight away. Don't waste any time taking his helmet off. Which is stupid. At least Carl Urban kept his helmet on. You see him put it on at the beginning of the film. You see him from behind slightly. So you see the back of his head and he puts his helmet on and he doesn't take it off again. Which is how it should be. That's not to say that Stallone was terrible in that role, but Dredd 2 moving forward with Karl Urban is far more exciting to think about. I think the one thing that the Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd did better than the Karl Urban one was the visualization of Mega City one. It was more like in the comics, in the Sylvester Stallone one, with the towering skyscrapers and stuff like that. Whereas in Dredd, it was like more sprawling, urban scape with a few, tower blocks dotted about. Whereas in the comic, it was, a vertical city, wasn't it? That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, Dredd 2, bringing back Karl Urban, is also exciting as the man had been campaigning to return to the role recently. During the GQ videos on YouTube where stars break down their most iconic roles, Urban had stated he had hoped he was going to be called about being Judge Dredd again, but would also be happy just seeing the franchise move forward. This also does beg the question about Urban's role in future Judge Dredd projects, like the previously mentioned Mega City 1 series. Dredd 2 securing Karl Urban could mean that he is meant to portray Judge Dredd in this expanded universe that seems to be getting put together. Urban has been fantastic as Billy Butcher in The Boys for Amazon Studios, so the powers that be would know he can carry a show without issues. This Dredd 2 sequel could lead to Urban taking on the role for the series as well, which would also be fantastic news. Urban was so good in the role of Judge Dredd that he did not even need to remove his helmet to showcase his acting prowess. The grimace on his face and his attitude and mannerisms were enough to sell the audience on his being perfectly cast in the role. Dredd 2 should be more of the same acting skill and action, and we would hope for even more craziness in the form of exploding ammunition and chaos. Yeah, that's what we want in it. Double whammy. No, that was the Stallone one, I know. I think it won't it now. I'll mention it, I'm not sure. Dredd 2 could also bring in Judge Death as Karl Urban's biggest foe. I don't know. Which is someone that Urban also brought up as a potential villain in either the series or sequel movie. It's Judge Death was kind of like, he was a judge from like an alternate universe, like a hell universe. It'd be a bit much that really, wouldn't it? It'd be like doing the Justice Child storyline, which I thought were cool when I was a kid, but I've looked at it since, and it's a bit goofy. Anyway, because he goes into space, but anyway, never mind. Fans around the world would also love to see Judge Death come into the picture, as would we. Urban knows his stuff when it comes to the source material, further proving he's the right man to play Judge Dredd for the foreseeable future. I'd like to see like the robot war, the robot uprising, whatever they called it. Call me Kenneth and all that. That'd be good. I know some other stuff. Like I say, I haven't really read... I'm not up to date with Judge Dredd. I don't know what the recent storylines have been. I'm going from stuff when I was a kid, when I was like 10 years old in the 70s. Anyway, Dredd 2 with Karl Urban currently has no timetable for release, though the sequel movie is not moving forward. What's that supposed to mean? We would imagine that he's busy with The Boys Season 4, but could be free next year. Dredd 2 with Karl Urban currently has no timetable for release, though the sequel movie is not moving forward. You just said it is. We would imagine that he's busy with The Boys Season 4, but could be free next year, meaning that this Dredd sequel will make its way to theatres in 2024-2025. Oh, for God's sake, is that it? Right, yeah. Anyway, so hopefully it'll happen, because Dredd is a really good film. But it'd be nice to see... some of the another good thing about the Sylvester Stallone one, they had the Angel gang, the Angel family. They were really well portrayed in that, really good. So stuff like that would be nice to see. I did see one on YouTube. A fan made Judge Dredd. I think it was a Judge Dredd one, or a Strontium Dog one. I can't remember now. But that had a smiling Chuck Waller in it. They're cool. They're aliens that smile at you and call you friend and stuff like that, and then eat you. But anyway, so looking forward to that if it happens. Right, next up, Avatar. Oh God, Just give me a minute. I know I do have an ad blocker because I don't like seeing ads. Right. Avatar 5. 5 will bring James Cameron's sci-fi epic to Earth. Avatar: The Way of Water director James Cameron reveals that Avatar 5, still in the bloody second one, will feature a major change of setting. You will see action on Earth. Avatar: The Way of Water. Is that fitting on the screen? Hang on, let me move it over. Yeah, it fits. Avatar: The Way of Water producer John Landau revealed director James Cameron's plans for a fifth instalment in the Avatar series, hinting that it will take place partially on Earth. Reported by Fandom, Landau explained, "In movie 5, the idea is that we would go to Pandora and we'd return to Earth, but just show the juxtaposition." But we kind of saw it, didn't we, in the special edition of Avatar. At the beginning, we saw Earth, didn't we? Saw how crowded it was and, what a shithole it was. As Ron Perlman says in Alien Resurrection, Earth, what a shithole. Which it is. Where people are, anyway. The rest of it's nice. Where the animals live and, there's no people, that's lovely. But where the people are, it's horrible. For the most part. He added, and just like we have something to learn from Pandora, Neytiri's character has something to learn from the people of Earth too. The people of Earth who killed her family, the people of Earth who destroyed her home. Cameron added that Earth won't make an appearance in the second, third or fourth instalments of the Avatar series. Sorry, got distracted by the UFO stuff there. Look at that. Oh, it's ace. I love UFO. Sorry. I should edit this out, sorry, but I'm not gonna. Cameron added that Earth won't make an appearance in the second, third or fourth instalments. I'm glad I stopped the ad blocker now. Now we're on to something rubbish. Won't make an appearance in the second, third or fourth instalments of the Avatar series, but by 5 you will see action on Earth. Because don't we want to juxtapose this verdant, incredible world in its prime with an Earth a couple of 100 years from now. Oh, we're back again. From now, that is the result of us if we don't change. Let's get out of it then. I'm not distracted by the... Oh, it's gone down there now. Luckily, you can't see that. Go away. Go on. Close. See, that's why I have an ad blocker. Stop ad popping up. Despite having the future of the franchise mapped out, Cameron had previously said that Avatar 4 and 5 may not happen unless The Way of Water brings in a substantial amount of money. He's wanting $2 billion, isn't he? This likely partially has to do with the fact that an Avatar film is inherently a very pricey endeavour. In fact, The Way of Water is one of the most expensive movies ever made, with some budget estimates coming in between $350 million and $400 million. I think that's because he's setting up. He's done some groundwork for the other sequels, I think. But anyway. Cameron himself noted that The Way of Water... By the way, wasn't this one the 3D in Avatar, The Way of Water, Avatar 2? Wasn't it supposed to be 3D that you don't have to wear glasses, or has that gone by the wayside now? Is it just normal 3D now? I don't know. Anyway, Cameron himself noted that The Way of Water will have to see massive box office numbers in order to justify its budget. The director even went as far as to describe the film as the worst business case in movie history, noting that it will need to be the third or fourth highest-grossing film in history in order to break even. But if initial reactions from critics have any say in it, The Way of Water will be very popular in theatres. The Rap's Drew Taylor praised The Way of Water's technical mastery, blah, blah, blah. We did all this yesterday, didn't we, when I went through the reviews, the reactions to it. So everybody's saying it's really good. And I'm fed up because I can't see it. I can't go to the pictures to see it because my son won't go with me. My son won't let me take him because he's autistic and he don't want to go and sit in a 3-hour and 12-minute film. Adding on the commercials, going to be sat there for 3.75 hours. Anyway, it's in the pictures. It's at the Flicks on December 16th. So there you go. So Avatar 5 will come back to Earth. But we haven't even got Avatar 2 out yet. Right, finally, Stargate. Some big names are circling a potential reboot from Amazon/MGM. When Amazon acquired MGM, James Bond was the big franchise being bandied about, but one of their other properties is Stargate, subject of a possible reboot that big names are circling. The 1994 Roland and there's the gate itself with SG-1 going through. The 1994 Roland Emmerich Dean Devlin film. Actually, is that the? Yes, it is, because I see teal clear. The 1994 Roland Emmerich Dean Devlin film Stargate was a big enough hit that it spawned no less than 3 television series, technically 4. There were an animated one. Less said about that, the better. In the form of Stargate SG-1, Atlantis, and Universe. Those shows, developed and overseen by the likes of Brad Wright, Robert C. Cooper, and Jonathan Glassner, have developed and maintained a huge following for the past 25 years, which is why Amazon is currently considering a reboot. Gateworld.net, the biggest online resource for all things Stargate, in conjunction with the YouTube interview channel Dial the Gate, is offering up a report that details some of what's going on. Among those who reportedly have expressed interest in Stargate to Amazon are the Expanse creators Mark Fergus and Hawk Osby, the producers of another of Amazon's fantasy hits, The Boys, as well as J.J. Abrams' production company Bad Robot. Boo! Oh, and there's a link for the video if you want to watch it. In the video, State of the Gate, both Gateworld's Darren Sumner and Dial the Gate's David Reed spoke to marketing veteran Jenny Stiven, don't know, who comments there was a call from Amazon Creative Studios for pictures from production companies, and it wasn't specific to Stargate. One of the things that was done was they would say with certain production companies that they had either already worked with or were really excited about, like Mark Fergus and Hawk, his partner. Hey, we loved what you've done. What would you like to do? Well, maybe do more The Expanse, because they left that on a cliffhanger, didn't they? And from my understanding, they said Stargate. Brad Wright had been developing an idea for a new Stargate that he's had discussions with MGM over, but apparently post-Amazon, things are looking very differently than they had been, notes Steven. Jenny, I said Jenny. Is it Jenny? Yeah. Notes Jenny, first name terms. When Brad wrote that script, it was appropriate for where MGM was at the time. What he wrote and what the series was going to be was appropriate to that particular setup, that equation. Today, the variables aren't just changed, they're blown apart. His pilot, that series, was part of an equation that no longer exists. Oh, that's it. There you go. Yeah, so anyway, if you want to know more about Stargate, go to Gateworld or watch the Dial the Gate videos. Also go to SciTrek. I'll put the link in the description. Jay and Matt get their they get information from MGM/Amazon insiders. That's it. They've been reporting this for a while now, to be honest, about Mark Fergus and Hawk Osby. So it's not new news, but it's interesting. But we'll just have to see what happens. We'll just have to see what happens, because let's say Amazon and MGM are still in the midst of, the merging, cramps, I suppose you could say. It's woes, the merging woes. They're still sorting things out and working out what's going to work and what's not going to work. And you'd think Stargate, one of MGM's big, sci-fi franchises, you think that'd be a no-brainer, wouldn't you? Just to continue that and continue it. Don't start again. Don't reboot it. Continue it. Yeah, have a new cast, a new young cast, but have the old cast popping in for cameos and stuff. But continue the storyline and tell us what happened to Destiny and all the crew on Destiny. But anyway, so there you go. Right, that's it. We've done. There, we'll leave it there. So, thank you for watching. Wherever you are in the universe, look after each other. And until next time, I'll say a Merry Christmas. I'm saying that again.